computer. Now we're going live. Go, Bevan.
Okay. Good morning and welcome to the virtual Forum for Excellence 2020. I'm Bevan Gibson and I'm going to be the moderator today. And Todd Jorns is on for tech support if you would need anything. Want to remind you all that the Zoom chat is turned off. So if you would like to comment, questions, anything like that, please enter it into the Whova app for the chat there, and we'll be monitoring that during the presentation. I'd like to welcome Dee Reinhardt from the Illinois WorkNet SIUC Center for Workforce Development. She'll be presenting today on next steps toward a career. Let Employment 101 help you decide. Go ahead, Dee.
All right, everybody. I'm going to get this going with the actual presentation so it's full screen. So my name is Dee Reinhardt. I am a project manager and field training representative with Illinois WorkNet. And one of the things that I've been working on recently is updating Employment 101. And I want to show you a little bit about Employment 101. And we're going to go now. So today we're going to talk about an introduction. We're going to talk about the access to Employment 101 and the pretest. We're going to talk about learning modules and quizzes, goals and steps, tools, and the post-test and certificate, and then any follow-up that you might want to do with it. You might be familiar with Illinois WorkNet, and then you can see what we have going on with the tools for our career plan that help you through Employment 101. And it's all about building a career. Exactly. Building the career for your jobs and moving forward with them. So Employment 101 can be used on your phone or on your tablet. And we built these tools because we know not everybody stands or sits in front of a computer these days. So we need to make sure that you have the information at your fingertips, whatever those fingertips might be. You can log into your Illinois WorkNet account and access Employment 101 through your Illinois WorkNet and logging in. So as you can see, if you're logged in, we have the icon right here for Employment 101. There are also bookmarks available for you. There are assessments that you can take, interests, resumes. Everything is available with the great tools through a single sign-on through your Illinois WorkNet account. We offer several resources for our workforce partners that may want to use the tool in their agency, program, or school. They include a recruiting flyer, an article about the tool, and a leader guide that can be used in a classroom or workshop setting. And we do have this all being developed right now. For Employment 101, we offer a pre-assessment that users can take to determine where they are starting their knowledge of a career and job search planning. The pre-assessment is not required to use the guide, but it is recommended. And we'll talk about the post-assessment later, but you must pass it with at least 70% to achieve your certificate and digital badge. There's
Dee?
Yes, ma'am.
Could you please share your audio because people can't hear you?
Hearing her audio.
I have two people say they cannot hear the speaker. They can't hear anything.
They need to, it's a problem with their browser. They have to go up to the padlock up where the URL is at the very top, right mouse click on that the gray looking padlock and some options will come up for your microphone and for your video. Will show up there and say you have to allow.
Click on continue and join audio, D. Or for the people that are there, click on continue and join audio. Okay, go ahead, D.
Okay. All right, for the pre-assessment test, there are 25 multiple choice questions in the pre and the post assessment. And when a user takes the test, the answers are stored in Illinois WorkNet. And with the new remodeled version, the incorrect answers are designated to allow career planners, counselors, and case managers the opportunity to work with the person who took the test on those areas that they may have gotten wrong in the test. The guide itself is broken into 3 sections. We have a prepare a career plan, we have prepare a job search plan, and we have achieve your goals. Each section has a number of subsections, and as you complete those subsections, they will get check marked. And then your overall progress is shown up here at the top with 6 to 8 modules completed, or 75% or whatever percentage you are completed in that program itself. Each section contains learning modules, and each module has a learning section where some reading and interactive activities are required. Some modules contain questions to cause reflection by the user, and then each module has an activity that must be completed before the user can move to the next learning module. Once the user has completed a learning module, a section, each section can be moved back and forth freely once they complete a section, but you can't jump ahead. And then each subsection contains a quiz that has questions included on the post assessment where the user is given the correct answer. So each quiz, you answer the quiz, you get the correct answer. Each of those quiz questions are on the post assessment. Each section has an overview video, and each learning module has a link to more resources. So we see the more resources here, we see the video here, the learning module where you would learn and read and then do. Many of the activities the user will complete is creating goals and adding steps to achieve those goals. We have a career plan within Illinois WorkNet, and those goals and steps are added that can be found then later in the career plan on the customer's My Dashboard. The tools that are on this page already lived in Illinois WorkNet that are incorporated into E101. We're calling it E101 instead of Employment 101. They are accessed with a seamless single sign-on through Illinois WorkNet, and they include the Skills and Interests Survey. This is a career skills item. They include the career pathways. They include the Illinois WorkNet Job Finder and the training program source for WIOA approved as well as private sector training opportunities. People can navigate through these items and use them within the tool itself or use them independently of the tool. And just for Employment 101, E101, we built a few new tools for the new version that include a job tracker tool. This is built on a Kaizen board process where you can move a card from column to column and track what's going on with that particular job posting that you found. We have a notes tool that is associated with some of the specific activities, and you can enter information based upon the request from that activity. So if you need, this one in the mock-up is called Identify Situations to Plan Around. What do you have to plan around your family? What needs are there that you would need to plan around for your career pathway, training, credentials, etc.? We also created a Google Sheet that is a budget worksheet that can be used on and on and on. You would enter the income and the expenses on a overall basis and then track them on a monthly basis. So that's a downloadable sheet that you can add into your computer system to track regularly. And then we also have a worksheet that if you're a paper and pencil person, like a lot of people still are, you can print off this sheet and track your information that we need for our plan in there. We have a very strong focus on the essential employability skills. We talk about them in detail in one of our sections, and then we talk about digital literacy in another one of our sections. And these essential employability skills were created and designed by a team of professionals in the state of Illinois, and we're focusing on those in our training session because it's very important that workers across the state of Illinois and nationally and internationally have these skills and can present them to an employer when they are trying to get a new job or upgrade their current job. Now let's step out of the presentation and go live, and then we'll come back to the presentation. Right now I have a test platform here that I want to show you. This is Employment 101 and it's live, and this is on our guide. Now, right now, this is the new remodeled version. We're hoping to have this released to production very shortly. We're looking at sometime, hopefully in the mid to end of October for this to go live. It's a whole lot of programming and a whole lot of new training opportunities that have been created for this. We're going to go to our guide and we're going to go on the section, I believe it is Get Qualified. Nope, I'm sorry, I'm going to go back. So you're getting to see a whole bunch of stuff here. So we're going to talk about the employability skills. I want to show you this section live. So when we're in here, we click on the icon to start the course. And it will be done within a modal. And if I make this screen smaller, it will shift to a mobile view so it is responsive for whatever tool or platform the user is working with. We read through a section. We can go to the actual guide. We have a link out for that. And then each piece has a section that the user would read. They can click out to get more information. We read each piece, each section, and move on to the next one. It's interactive compared to what we used to have. And then we also have communication skills. Then we go down and continue to the next section. We have independence and initiative, a positive attitude, where they can read more about this, problem solving. And then we have personal and work ethics. We scroll down, go to the next one. In our guide, we have this set up so that you can do this as a classroom activity, or the user can use it independent on their own, at their own pace. Understanding the big picture, leadership and teamwork, career advancement, and then transferable skills. All of these are important. And then we can continue. We have a drag and drop. So what's important? So this is an activity that the user would actually do. Is it valued by employers, or does it need, do you need to improve it? So proper grammar and spelling is valued. Do you care about your appearance? Valued. Old versions of technology, you need to improve that. If I put one in the wrong place, it triggers that that was wrong. And so I can move it and put it in the right one. Again, if I put it in the wrong place, it triggers and lets me move it to the right place. I'm gonna kind of go through here a little bit quickly just so that we can take time in case we have questions.
I don't see any right now.
All right. Windows 10 is important. Do you act childish? Keep skills up to date. Show up on time and ready to work. Fails to ask questions. How many times have you failed to ask a question and it got you like in trouble? Maintains a professional demeanor. Fulfill responsibilities. Current with technology. Poor time management, needs to improve. Considers other viewpoints. Work independently. Gossips. Keyboarding skills. Office 365 is a current technology. Complain too much. Close to change. Misses details. Breaks rules. Take initiative. Industry tech skills up to date. Notify supervisor in advance of absences. Comply with policies. Cannot operate a computer. Understand customer needs. Spaces out. Mumbles. Work effectively with others. Give in to peer pressure. So it told me I got 37 of the 39 cards correct on the first try, but it let me move them to the right place. Now we have some scenarios that we can do. You're driving to your job when you notice that you have a flat tire. What do? Call work and let them know your situation. Change the tire and show up at work when you're done. Who's going to answer that one for me? Nobody?
If somebody raises their hand, I can unmute you.
Okay. Well, since nobody's answering, I'm going to tell you that the right answer is call work and let them know your situation. And then you submit that answer. Then it gives you the reference behind the correct answer. So you can take it again if you want to, or you can continue on. We have another scenario. You are at a local clothing store and a customer comes in and tries to return something, but does not have the receipt. You tell him he cannot return it. He starts yelling and demanding his money back. What do? You listen to the customer, maintain eye contact, gesture. Now this is a multiple click. So I can listen to the customer. Do I want to maintain eye contact? Yes. Do I want to gesture using cues? Yes. I don't want to scowl or roll my eyes. And I want to calmly explain the return policy using an appropriate tone of voice. I can submit that. Yes, I got that all correct. And it gives me the reasoning behind it. And then I can continue. One more. You are at work in an office building and all of a sudden the printer stops working. You have 100 flyers to print out. What do? Who wants to answer this one? Anybody?
Call Kinko's.
Yeah, that's probably what I would do too. Although I did that one time and it cost $1,000 and that was not within the budget for the printing that I was getting done. So I would check the machine to see why it might not be working, fix it by adding paper or changing a cartridge or clearing a jam. And I'm going to submit. And guess what? I got it right. I'm so happy. And then I'm going to continue. Now what it's going to do, I need to go to step 3 of our activity and complete the Essential Employability Skills self-assessment. Now this is a new tool that we've just recently created as well. So that self-evaluation, I would click on step 3 here and then continue. Let me go back to the presentation. I just wanted to show you an example of one of our sections that we can do. Now our post-assessment are the same questions as on the pre-assessment. The post-assessment is the same. And as I stated earlier, the quiz at the end of each subsection contains the questions from that area that are on the post-assessment. The exact question and answer with the correct answer given, along with the reasoning behind the answer, are what's on those section quizzes. Each question is addressed within the learning module with the exact words on the post-assessment. So if I'm talking about this resume question right here, in the resume section learning module, this exact question with the exact answers is in the learning module as well as on the quiz. If a user gets the answer incorrect on the post-assessment, they are linked to the section where the correct answer may be found. Users are allowed to retake the post-assessment as many times as necessary to achieve that 70% passing score so that they can earn that digital badge and the certificate. So this is a copy of our certificate and a copy of our digital badge. Illinois WorkNet is moving toward digital badges with completion of several different things. We have a certified WorkNet advisor instructor course, and that will have an advisor digital badge as well. So all of these are downloadable once they complete the whole section and have passed their quiz.
And Dee, are these badges and certificates, are they valued by employers, or how would that work?
Well, the digital badge is brand new, so I would hope that they would be valued, but what it's going to boil down to is whether or not the user expresses what they learned within the system. So if they talk about the essential skills that they learned and can demonstrate those as well, I can't see why it wouldn't be valued. The certificate has been around for a very long time, and so it depends on whether or not the participant is taking that certificate and putting it in their portfolio, that they present to a potential employer.
And what is the length, and you may have said this, but what is the length of time that it takes for a student, in our case, a student, to go through this self-paced course? What I know it varies if it's self-paced, but what is the length, what average?
If they're doing it on their own by themselves, I could see 3 to 4 hours, depending on their reading capabilities, and if they get distracted or not. If they're working in a classroom setting where you're working with instructors and going through it, it could be a week course, a couple hours a day for a week together. I have seen, if it's done properly, I've seen it be like a 30-hour block of time. If it's done in a class with a classroom setting and all of the course communications, the course questions are asked to the group and have them think about it. So it can be short or it can be long. So
what is the reading level for this?
We try to write it at a 5th grade reading level, but that doesn't mean that the people's speed is there.
Okay.
If you follow that. Did that answer the question?
Yes.
Okay, good. All right. So we want to be able to track progress and have access to print the certificate. So career navigators, coaches, counselors, workforce partners, anybody that is part of the Illinois WorkNet system has the ability to track the E101 progress of users in their group. Some programs that use Illinois WorkNet to track all of their customers have special groups and dashboards, but users of any organization that is a partner can create a personal group and invite users and other partners of their organization to see those assessment results of those participants in that participant's file.
So teachers could set up a class and monitor what their students were doing?
Correct. And they would just set up a personal group. So our customer support center could be a whole nother presentation on its own. But what happens with that is if a teacher who is a partner with Illinois WorkNet, sets up a personal group in the customer support center. They can invite their classroom participants to that group. And then, as you can see in this right-hand screen, they can see what's going on with that participant, their skills and interest survey that they took, the Employment 101 results, if they do NOCD, the self-evaluation, a worksite evaluation or an observational evaluation. And if they happen to give people a TABE test or do Casey Life Skills, all of those assessments are trackable in Illinois WorkNet. And then on the top, it's hard to see on the screen right here, but this third tab, it says career plan. If the participant is filling out their Employment 101 properly, they are asked to take steps for that career plan and add dates into them. And then that gets added to that customer's or that participant's career plan. And so then the counselor, navigator, coach, whoever can work with that person and see that information and then work with them further to see, okay, well, where are we going with this? What are we going to do with it? And when are you going to get it done? And then on the customer's profile, which is on the laptop screen here, the career plan on the top right corner shows progress there as well. And then in the lower left corner where it says Employment 101, that shows whether or not the participant has taken the post-assessment, the pre-assessment, or gotten their certificate.
We realize that it shows the progress. The teacher could actually check on the progress of each student if they set up a group. But is there an indication of the amount of time spent? So, like for us, we check seat time. Is there an indication on here about the amount of time that is spent on doing this?
Not at this moment. There isn't. Let me make a note and check into that so that we can see if we can incorporate something like that, or in the instructions, we might be able to incorporate, well, how long do we anticipate that this module might take? I can look into that.
Yeah, because in adult ed, in adult ed, we count seat time. So if students were actually spending time on doing this and they weren't in the classroom per se, they were like a virtual classroom, then it would be significant for us to be able to check the numbers of hours spent so that we could report that.
Sure. And, if nothing else, what I can do is I can go through my own stuff and see how long it would take, and I will include that in the instructor guide. That's a great suggestion, Bev. Thanks, Bevan. Thank you for that.
Sure.
Okay. So if you need, many of the school districts are already partners with Illinois WorkNet, but if you're not currently a partner with Illinois WorkNet, you just have to send some information off to info@illinoisworknet.com, and we can check into helping you become a partner. So what other kind of questions am I able to answer for you?
I guess one of the questions is how do they work with students to set up a WorkNet account? Where do they go?
Super simple. Yeah, it's super simple. All they have to do is go to illinoisworknet.com and go to the sign up, and it asks them for first name, last name, email address, because we do need to have an email address. It asks them for a zip code and then a username and password.
So they could use their program, like some of the colleges, students have an account that is set up through the colleges. And if they did not, they could set up a Gmail account. Does it accept Gmail accounts?
Oh, yes. Oh, yes. It even takes those emails that are on your iPhone. It will accept those too.
Okay.
And if an instructor or a a counselor, a career navigation needs to create an account, that can be done with that same sign up. And then once that person is signed up, this sign up, you would go to the login instead.
Do we have any additional questions for Dee? Just enter them into the Hoova chat because the other chat is turned off.
I can unmute someone if they raise their hand. I can also take it that way, Bevan.
Okay.
It seems like I've got just a couple of extra minutes. What I would like to do, this slide here has all of our information about Illinois WorkNet. What I would like to do is ask everyone if they are currently familiar with the new stuff that we've got going on Illinois WorkNet.
I'm going to tell you that when you go to the website, it gets a little blurry, Dee.
Oh, does it?
Uh-huh.
Okay. Well, let's make this big then and see if that helps at all.
It kind of like bounces in and out with the words. We can see the headings, but the lower words bounce in and out.
Okay. All right, well, let's make this a little bit bigger and we'll see what we can get going on here. So one of the things that we did as an initiative with the governor is we set up virtual job fairs. And these virtual job fairs are available to any job seeker in the state of Illinois. And we can also search job fairs. And when we do that, we can see these employer booths. And I've got this too big right now for it to show, but employers across the state of Illinois are showing with the organization name and then how many positions they have open for that particular company. And we've got big companies, local companies, little companies. We've got a variety of organizations from across the state of Illinois showing up on here. Then
could they attend the job fair and not actually be actually talk to an employer, or because like we may have students that might want to experience a virtual job fair but may not be at the point where they're actually looking for a job. So what I'm asking, I guess, is can you come in as an observer?
Yes, they can lurk. That's what we call it, lurking. But they can go to, so these booths are just information. There's not people actually in the booth. It's just information. But we do have virtual fairs, virtual job fairs. And so we have a calendar of events with the virtual job fair where there is actually a representative from the organization on the fair. And you do need to register for them. And so they could attend a job fair and just see what's going on in it, not ever say anything or do anything, but they could just sit and listen. So like this afternoon at 1 o'clock, we have Aspire of Illinois virtual job fair. So if I click on here, you can get a ticket for it. It tells them how many job openings they have. It tells you where, I believe, well, you would go back to the job booth to find out where the organization, oh, right here, it says Aspire of Illinois is located in Hillside, Illinois. So you can look at the information. You can add it to your calendar after you register. You can add it to your calendar. You can share it with other people. So all of these booth information and the actual events are going on. We had a big one the other day that was 1,000 people on the job fair. So that was a very, we had 5 staff people from Illinois WorkNet manning that job fair, because between the people registered, the staff from the organization, and our team, we were able to successfully accommodate all of those people. So check
So
back
they
with the
could go,
calendar.
they could go on to those, the first one that you had before you went into the calendar. They could go on to each one of those employers. They could look to see what kinds of jobs are open there and maybe what qualifications are there that
Yes,
are required. Is
yes,
that right?
yes.
Okay. And then if they so chose that, that would lead them into whatever kind of training that they needed to actually participate in order to like apply for a job at that company,
Right.
right?
And through, yes. And so they could look at this and say, okay, well, I kind of like this job. Let me investigate a little bit more. Let me see what's going on. Well, part of the whole Employment 101 is looking at the same kind of thing. We do some career planning by looking at different types of jobs. And all of the tools are available on Illinois WorkNet through one of our menus. But what we've done with Employment 101 is pull all of that information into one place and made it sequentially make sense. And we don't have anybody doing anything that doesn't make sense for them down the road. If they're doing an activity, it is supposed to be able to help them learn more about themselves or more about what their process needs to be to get to that end goal, which is their final career path. Or maybe, I don't know, but in my life, I've done 7 different things. That's the average these days. I think that average might actually be up to 10 different jobs in your life. I'm doing three different ones right now. So finding your niche and making sure that you're comfortable where you're supposed to be is all part of using Employment 101 to your advantage.
So with everything being under Implement 101, it makes it a lot easier than trying to locate it on the Illinois WorkNet, right?
Exactly, exactly. Let me go back to the homepage and show you one more thing because your users might be interested in this. On another initiative that came out of the Department of Commerce was finding training for people. So finding training, a lot of people were downsized or outsized because of the COVID. And so one of the things that Department of Commerce did was they came up with the ability to get some free online training for you through Coursera. Coursera has a whole plethora of courses available, and all you have to do is sign up before October 31st and complete your coursework before December 31st. So if you need to upgrade, many of the programs are IT related, but if you go on to the system, you can read a little bit more. You need to log in and get signed up for Coursera. They'll send you an email and then you can take a look. But there's tons of coursework that somebody could take if they needed to upgrade a skill. So this might be something that our participants today on the webinar might be interested in, or you might know somebody that needs to do some of this as well. And then
Someone said that they're not seeing much for down in Southern Illinois for job fairs. Are they missing something? Those are all virtual job fairs, are they not right now?
correct. And I do have to admit that many of them are in the Cook and Collier County areas, but there are providers in the southern part of the state. I noticed there were some from Peoria, Bloomington, Springfield. The word is slow to get around about some of this because of the virtualness of it. Internet connections may be missing in some areas. So we're hoping that by doing things like this, we can get the word out to employers across the state to help them find more employees through this virtual method.
Okay.
You know how word spreads more quickly when there's more people around.
Yes, definitely.
All right. What else can I show or tell anybody, I know the questions are a little bit light right now. I am happy to answer any questions about Illinois WorkNet or about Employment 101.
They may be a little overwhelmed. Employment 101 is a lot for, I mean, looking at the WorkNet side is a big amount of information if this is the first time they've seen it. So, but
Right.
but it's an incredible resource that adult educators should actually use with their students. And that's why we asked you to come today. So we appreciate you sharing that. Any other questions? We'll give you a minute here.
Some of the tools that we have in here,
Go ahead.
some of the tools that we have in here is we have the ability to compare careers. So one of the sections, one of the modules has where you go through the career plan section and look at different jobs that may interest you based on what you completed on the career and interest survey. So then you can mark these careers and then move them up or down in the list so that maybe one is more higher priority than the other. Same thing with comparing career training. We have WIOA approved programs, and then we have public-private training providers. I did see that somebody had raised their hand. Julie Frost. Could Todd unmute her?
She's unmuted. Go ahead, Julie.
Go ahead, Julie.
She's unmuted, but maybe her microphone's not working because I have her unmuted.
We have a few more questions here.
Okay.
While you're waiting to see if Julie can come in. Someone said we are way south. Hope to watch the spread. Hope that this watches spread south. But another one said, is Employment 101 available for secondary? I believe it's available for everyone, right?
It's available for anybody who has an Illinois WorkNet account. And if you are a partner with Illinois WorkNet, you can create those customer groups and use them with your classroom. So it's designed, it was initially designed for a summer youth employment program way back in 2014. And that summer youth employment program was for 14 to 18-year-olds who had never had a job. And basically to help them understand the requirements of actually keeping and holding, or obtaining and holding a job, and being able to do it properly and getting praises and raises and moving forward. So by all means, please use it with that actually probably 8 through 12th grade.
Okay, and Torrin said that he's seen some virtual job fairs around St. Louis area in the Metro East and St. Louis County. So at least some people are looking around and seeing that. So
good.
Hey, Julie, can you try your microphone again? Are you through this time or not? Nope, we can't hear her.
Okay, Julie, go ahead and type your question in the Whova chat if you can.
So while we're waiting for Julie to type her question, we've got the job search organizer. I don't know if any of you are familiar with Trello, but this is a similar tool to Trello, a Kaizen board type kind of thing. I don't know how many of you have Post-its all over your computer screen, but this is an easy way to track this sort of activity without having to have those Post-its and notes everywhere that you can't find. So if I have an application out to this membership marketing associate, and then I find out that I get an interview, I can move this card over here to the interviews, open up the card, excuse me. I can open up the card and edit it, put in when the job post date is, the application date, the interview date, what the company name was. Did I send them a thank you letter? Did I send them a thank you email? Did I send a follow-up letter? Did I get a declined or did I get a rejection letter? That's very important for a lot of people to know. If you get a rejection letter, it's really good news, basically, and especially if they tell you why they rejected you. Because if it's something that you have no control over, like the other person had 5 more years of experience, well, I can't do anything about that. But if it's because of I was missing a credential, I can go do something about that. So this is information that you can work on for this process. Resume Builder is a tool that we've had. It is based on Optimal Resume. You can do a beginner resume or you can do an advanced resume. There's all kinds of samples there. The career plan is existing in Illinois WorkNet. It's those steps that you're going to create within Employment 101. We have a link to our assessments and then the actual Employment 101 tool. We're still in the process of building the notes tool, but that will be there too. Any other questions, Bevan?
No, I don't see any. And we want to thank you. I'm going to go ahead. If you'll stop sharing, then I'm going to go ahead and share my screen.
Sure thing. Thank you, everybody, for your time and attention. Please check out Illinois WorkNet and check out all of the tools and services that are available. It is all free to users to use. Thank you, Julie. Even though you didn't get to ask your question.
Okay. Todd, I'm going to share my screen if I can.
Yep, go ahead. Just bring up your PowerPoint window.
I did, but it won't let me share.
You're still a co-host.
Well, it won't let me share.
Clicking on that green button down below, it won't let you, you're saying?
I hit it.
Try it now.
No, because I think you're still sharing yours and I can't do it while you're sharing yours.
No, mine's off.
Yeah, she's off.
Okay, now I'll try.
There you go.
There you go.
There we go.
Third time's a charm.
Okay, I want to thank you all for your attendance, and please be sure to complete the end of the session evaluation. It's located in your agenda right underneath the name of this session, and you just need to go back and rate the session there and then hit submit, and we appreciate all your feedback. I want to also remind you that you can follow us on the forum updates, giveaways, engagement, and information on the social media, Facebook page, Instagram, Twitter for the Professional Development Network, as well as CTE, Facebook, Twitter, and then Illinois Community College Board, Facebook. So that being said, also the photo mosaic wall. We need some more photos, guys. Otherwise, we're going to have a very blank photo. So text your photo. Take some pictures of you actually sitting in front of your computer, participating in some of these sessions, and text the photo to the number that's right there, 585-207-6225, and then be able to watch the mosaic wall come together live on Friday from 8:30 to 12:30. We'd also like to thank our sponsors, Burlington English, Essential Education, GIST, HiSET, Illinois ACTE, and New Readers Press for everything that they've done to help this be a successful conference, and for our giveaways and for hosting our sessions in the morning or early hours. Once again, there'll be trivia tonight. If you've not signed up, go in and register for that. It's from 6 to 8 this evening. It's family friendly, and we'd be happy to see you all there. So I am done, and thank you all for coming.
Hey,
Yes.
Bevan, before everybody goes, turn on your cameras if you've got a camera, and I'm going to take a screenshot of everybody in the webinar. So turn on your cameras. Turn them on, turn them on, turn them on. Come on. Turn on your camera.
I'm on.
Now, I know a lot more of you have cameras than you got showing up here.
Todd, are they allowed to turn their cameras on?
Sure. I think they can.
Okay. Well, you can.
Yeah, but I'm a host.
All right.
They can't still be in their pajamas because it's 12:30. This morning that was the case.
They could still be in their pajamas. All right, everybody.
No, it says no
Turn on your
camera.
cameras. Turn on
There's
your
no
cameras.
No cameras. No cameras. Hoover won't allow the cameras. So
What?
Hoover
Oh.
won't allow the cameras.
The webcams?
Hoover won't. Our Hoover,
Yeah.
we don't want video because it's going to slow everything down. So we turn that feature off.
Oh, all right. All right. Well, let's get as many as
Well,
we
you can
can.
take. Okay.
All right. Smile, everybody. Smile at your camera. All right. I got a picture.
Okay. Thanks, Dee.
All right.
Appreciate it. Thank you, everyone. All right. Bye-bye.
Thanks, Bevan.
Mhm.